Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest and first-timer on Ron Siegel Radio. Danny Williamson is with us. Welcome.
Thank you, Ron. It's a pleasure.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. What are we celebrating today? It's National Cheese Doodle Day. Cheese doodles? Can we call those like cheese puffs? Probably not the best thing for my diet. Too much processed food. And, you know, you may or may not agree with me, but, you know, those things get your fingers all dirty, and that's just not something that I'm fond of. So I've never been a fan of cheese doodles, cheese puffs, any of those kind of things. But, hey, that's just me. What else is going on in the world? Is there anything else we're celebrating? I haven't even looked. Little cocktails here and there. We're not going to talk about that one too much. Hospitalist Day. I don't think we're going to get too excited over that either. So right along. Multiple Personality Day. I was telling myself this morning that maybe I wouldn't celebrate that today, but I digress. Hey, let's see what the markets are doing today. Do we want to see what the markets are doing today? Well, it's another one of those days. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 705 points. The NASDAQ is down 16.45. The S&P 500 is down 30.56. Oil's up another $4.68 a barrel. Ow! Yeah, a little painful right there. And do we even want to look about what's happening in California with gas prices? We probably don't, because we're right now at $4.81 a gallon. Hey, we are leading the country. We're the number one gas price state in the country. We're even higher by 10% over Hawaii. Have you ever noticed all of the refineries in Hawaii? No, neither have I. Because there are none. They get their gas and they have to ship it in, and it's still cheaper than what we're paying in California. And did you see that our governor, Governor Useless, he did get a letter from the chairman of Chevron talking about how California's gas policies are going to make it almost impossible for Californians to get gas. Well, I think that's what Governor Useless wants, isn't it? I mean, although I can say that now because he did say yesterday, I think it was, might have been the day before yesterday, that, you know, and I've mentioned this plenty of times, that I'm Jewish and I support Israel, the apartheid state, according to Governor Useless. You know, I heard one of these things just recently, and they came out, and I've heard it before, but the commentary this time was, you know, when somebody tells you who they are, listen. And Newsom has told us who he is. Not only is he two-faced, of course, I guess that's a prerequisite for being a politician in California. I mean, you watch and see what's going on in Washington right now. What are they talking about in Washington? All they know about is two things. They know about Epstein, which is a total waste of time. And I had a conversation with somebody just recently. Why do I say Epstein is a total waste of time? And I'm right. Because all those files were available to President Obama and his administration. They were available during the Trump administration, his first time. They were available during the Biden administration. And they've been available now. Now, don't you believe that if there was anything of any value that could have been used against their opponents, all of these guys would have let it leak at some point in time? Of course they would. Now, take it the next step. Do you know what happens to a lawyer and a client's client privilege when a client dies? Client privilege dies at the same time. Now, Epstein, who by all accounts, including the court, was a slimeball. Well, his commentary was when he talked to his attorney that he had nothing on any of these politicians that could be used to get him out of hot water. Now, if he won't tell his attorneys, do you think there's anything there that's usable? I'm going to tell you, no, there's not. So why do we keep going on and on with this stuff? Except we've got California politicians. Now, again, I don't have immunity, so I'm just going to tell you my opinion. Ro Khanna is the biggest worthless piece of garbage in the whole world. Why? Because he goes out and outs some people about being associated with Epstein, and they were not. But why do I say that makes him a worthless individual? Because he doesn't have the guts to do it in public. He does it on the floor of Congress where he's got complete immunity for ruining somebody's life. Now, I think that that's total worthlessness. You tell me what your thoughts are. But, I'm just going to say that's where it is. Now, what's the other thing? Could you imagine a Speaker of the House or a leader of the House of Representatives saying that the United States military is going to fail? I mean, talk about another worthless piece of garbage. Hakeem Jeffries. Now, I don't care whether you agree with the war, disagree with the war. I'm sorry, it's a conflict. Just a question, I've shared this before. You know when the last war the United States was in? Now, think about this. Okay, we had Gulf II, Gulf I, Vietnam, Korea. No, those weren't wars. Oh, yeah. Where was it? Lebanon or Syria that Obama had us in for 7 months and we didn't hear a word of this? Those were not wars because Congress declares war. Those were conflicts. The last war that Congress voted on and declared war, World War II. So if you're thinking that, the president is doing something that every other president hasn't done, well, you're wrong. But here's the issue. It doesn't matter whether you're right or wrong, your opinion is pro or con. When the United States military goes into action, if you're an American, if you're a patriot, you should be supportive of the military. Again, my opinion. If you want to debate it, so be it. But coming out as the leader of the minority leader in the House of Representatives saying we're going to lose, number one, he's got to be an idiot because anybody with half a brain, and I don't think he has half, can see that, something that's not going too good for Iran over there. And thank goodness. And half the reports that are coming out, did you hear early on? Well, Iran says, well, do you ever believe anything Iran says? I know I don't, but they said that they hit one of our aircraft carriers. Wonder how that worked out for them when they went to try and use some of the equipment there. Didn't come out too well, but that's just a whole different story. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, you have got a special opportunity today. I am going to chat with Danny Williamson, a friend of mine, and we're going to talk about peptides. Now, he's not a doctor. I'm not a doctor. He doesn't give medical advice. I don't give medical advice, but we do chat a bit, and we're going to let you eavesdrop. We're going to also talk about spring sellers have an edge. We'll talk about that and why. And we've got the Mortgage Minute, all that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you missed any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay will be available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by rsrlinks.com/mobile app, rsrlinks.com/mobile app. And every day at this time, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. They do not tell us points paid, points received, or the APR. They only tell us the number you put in your mortgage calculator to determine the principal and interest payment. If you don't have a mortgage calculator, yes, we have a full suite of about 60 calculators that you can use to determine almost anything you need to figure out in the world of finance. It's like if you're old, you remember the HP 10T? Yeah, we all used to carry those around 10, 15 years ago. You don't need that anymore. Our calculators have it. rsrlinks.com/calculators. rsrlinks.com/calculators. Now, what did rates do yesterday? And Josh, you're throwing me a curveball here because I see that we've got a conventional rate with a green arrow pointing down. Is it down or is it up? I think it was down. Okay, so conventional 30-year fixed yesterday closed 5.993. Wow. Yahoo! Yeah, we like that. That was down. Jumbo 30-year. Stop that. Jumbo 30-year fixed 6.259. That was up. These are weird colors. You got me all confused. That's up. FHA 30-year fixed 5.898. Is that up? That one was up. VA 30-year fixed 5.662. That was up. And SBA 30-year fixed 5.824. That one was down. Okay, so we've got that one covered. And you gotta love the slide. But Josh just wants to throw me a curveball. That's okay. Hey, if you want our thoughts about the market each and every business day morning as early as the data allows, join the Ron Siegel Radio community. It is free. rsrlinks.com/HBOD, rsrlinks.com/HBD. Let's see what the markets are doing today. S&P 500 is down 52.8 right now. Oof. The Treasury, that's up 4 basis points, 4.14. And the mortgage bond down another 15 basis points, sitting right there at the level of support. Remember, when the bond goes down, it's down 15 basis points. Bond down, rates up. They always move in the opposite direction. What's driving all this? Yeah, still the Persian Gulf. Oil prices moving higher once again, sparked by more attacks in Hormuz and the Persian Gulf, causing a sell-off in both stocks and bonds. Oil prices are up about $10 since the beginning of the month, sparking some inflationary concerns. The Challenger job cut report showed that there were almost 50,000 job cuts in February. While this was down from the cuts seen in January, the decline was expected. January is usually elevated after the holidays, and last month was the highest January since 2009. Still, cuts through the first 2 months of the year are higher than normal, and the highest 2009. AI is having a significant impact as 8% of cuts this year are being attributed to AI. Hiring plans remain very weak through the first 2 months of the year at only 18,000, which is down 56% from last year. Revelio Labs released their February jobs report showing that there were 17,000 job losses. Most of the losses came from the retail, trade, and leisure and hospitality. Healthcare was the biggest gainer, adding 16,000 jobs. 53% of sectors showed job losses, so the weakness was pretty widespread. Initial jobless claims, which measures individuals filing for unemployment benefits for the first time, were unchanged at 213,000. The figure remains low, but that does not capture those entering the gig economy. Continuing claims, or those who continue to receive benefits after their initial claim, rose 46,000 to 1.87 million. This figure has climbed back to just under 1.9 million, showing there is a lot of hiring. There's not a lot of hiring happening, and people are staying on benefits longer. Productivity and unit labor costs. Q4 productivity was 2.8%, which is much stronger than the 1.9% expected, and follows an upwardly revised 5.2% in the third quarter. Productivity has been very strong, which is important. The incoming Fed chair, Kevin Warsh, believes the Fed can cut rates and not cause inflation due to strong productivity. And oh yeah, we've got a weak labor market. Unit labor costs rose 2.8%, which was higher than the 2% expected, and follows a 1.8% decline in Q3. It is abnormal to see unit labor cost rise despite the big increases in productivity. We'll be watching that one. And tomorrow we get the BS report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Once again, I'm sure it'll be wrong. It always is. The estimates are calling for 60,000 jobs. Now, figure that out. Revelio just said we lost jobs. ADP said we didn't have that many jobs. And the BS coming from the Bureau of Labor Statistics forecast 60,000. Now, we saw last month how bad it was. We saw how bad it was all of last year, as you know, by other agencies and their own reporting. But the market will still move based on this garbage data that comes out. So we'll be watching that for you. We will report on it. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by rsrlinks.com/mobile app, rsrlinks.com/mobile app. So you do have a treat today. So I've shared with you in the past that I got started on my weight loss journey, 130 pounds as of yesterday. I got started on my weight loss journey pretty much sitting in Danny Williamson's kitchen, basically where it was. And Danny's studied this stuff far more than I have, although I may be catching up. I don't know. He's got some time on me yet. And what we're going to let you do this morning is something that very few people ever get the opportunity, because he and I chat quite frequently, and it's just he and I chatting. He's not a doctor. I'm not a doctor. We got to get these disclosures out because we don't want to get in trouble. So he's not a doctor. I'm not a doctor. He doesn't give medical advice. I don't give medical advice. We research and share our research. So good morning. Welcome.
Hey, thank you, Ron. It's a pleasure to be here today.
Glad to have you with us. So sitting in your kitchen, you shared with me, it's about a year and a half now. It's almost 2 years, I guess.
Yeah, it would have to be. Yeah.
I mean,
and you look fantastic, by the way.
So do you. I mean, you're down with about the same.
Yeah, 130 pounds.
So we're each at about 130 pounds. Now, I noticed, I don't know if you find the same thing. Last month, I lost about 10 pounds.
Wow.
But I noticed, and that's after a year and a quarter, year and a half of doing this. But I noticed my belt needs to be cut even more than it does usually.
Yeah, I've drilled some holes in my belt too.
Something, because of how fat I was 357 pounds when I started this time. I was up at 425 at one point, before my bariatric surgery. But I found those ratchet belts. So you slide it, and it kind of works kind of like a ratchet. I guess that's how a ratchet works. I don't understand how to use tools. But, it sets it where it needs to every day. You don't have to have holes or anything. But you end up taking the buckle off and cutting it. And yesterday I had my belt on and it went halfway around the second time.
Well, I'm glad you can figure the ratchet part of it. And I'm still a little bit more into style than I am into ease of motion there. So I pull out my drill and I put a couple more holes into my belts.
Okay, so I don't even know what a drill is.
That's funny.
Although my wife does have a drill, so she knows how to use the thing.
Yeah.
But one of the things I get asked all the time, side effects. Have you come across much?
No, honestly, the side effects for me have been almost zero. I initially had some constipation, which is just super, super easy to get have some kind of fiber pill or something like that. Take it once a day. Don't have to drink anything. I find that absolutely just took it out. And then I don't have that issue anymore. I honestly can say that on the GLP-1 GIP, I've had no side effects. I haven't had nausea or anything like that. I guess the side effect really is that I've lost weight and my health has improved immensely, and blood work shows it. So
that's what I want to drill into, because so many people say I feel better and they'll attribute it to whatever they want to attribute it to. I have people that attribute everything to the GLP GIP. I mean, they might have got a headache. Oh, it had to be the GLP or whatever. And I'm like you. I haven't had hardly any side effects. Most of the people I come across, the biggest effect that they have is you got to tell them, hey, go eat some protein because they're not eating enough.
Well, of course. And, and they're not drinking enough water.
Right.
And that's not keeping your system in running order that it needs to do. The water is just as critical as the protein. Everybody keeps asking me, like, haven't you lost a lot of muscle and everything? And so let me back up real quick and say, you and I were almost at the same start weight. I was 366 pounds.
Okay.
And, there was a lot of negativity thrown my way, like, why would you do this? This is going to cause these issues, going to cause that issues. Man, what was 366 pounds doing to my health? Where was I at that now? And I got to tell you, I've had annual blood work done for like the last decade, and I can go back and look at it. I just had it done 2 weeks ago, and it's amazing what it has done.
Well, that's a whole different story, right? Because so many people, you can say anything you want, and we can rationalize anything we want.
Yeah.
But when you have the baseline blood work and you have the latest results, and you start looking at it and saying, I haven't done anything really different beyond, I've started getting healthy. I've started taking the GLP, GIP, and some of the other peptides that are out there. And again, researching and doctors, right? I still talk to my bariatric doctor. I was 425 pounds in 2007 when I had bariatric bypass surgery. And I did not get the benefits on my knees when I lost 162 pounds then that I've gotten with my knees this time.
Peptides.
Right? So these have helped.
Yeah.
There's nothing else. I mean, I've worn knee braces for decades, and now I can walk around, go walk around the reservoir in Anaheim Hills, which has hills in it. I walk around the island of Balboa, and I can walk there without my knee braces.
Well, I can imagine too, if you looked at your blood work, that your liver readings are better, your kidney functions better, your
Let's
overall
talk about
cholesterol.
I want to talk about the numbers when we come back, if you're willing to share.
Oh, I'm an open book on it.
So let's talk about that when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. More with Danny Williamson, peptides, how they're working, what they're doing. I don't know what they do. I don't even know how a thermos works. I just know it works. I take it, it works. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you missed any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 0186945.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the first Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Spring sellers have an edge. Here's why. Homeowners looking to sell usually want 3 things: plenty of interested buyers, strong offers, and a short timeline. Spring is the season that most often delivers all 3. So if a move has been on your mind this year, this is the window where momentum tends to work in your favor. Here's what makes sense this season, so powerful for sellers. Number 1, more buyers will be looking. Typically speaking, in the housing market, there's no more popular time to move than the spring. Historically, data coming out of showing time proves that's when buyer activity peaks each year. If you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk, AM 1490, FM 98.1 video feed, you are seeing a chart from showing time showing buyers' showings are typically highest during the spring. Average monthly showing index, October 2022 through September 2025. And this year, there's more than just a seasonal trend working in your favor. Mortgage rates sitting near 3-year lows, and that combination matters. More buyers plus improving affordability equals more eyes on your house. That doesn't mean the market will return to the frenzy of the pandemic. Far from it. But it does mean more buyers will be ready to re-enter the market, and that's good for you. As Redfin says, quote, home buying demand is improving and mortgage purchase applications are sitting near the highest level in 3 years, unquote. You should make sure your house is listed so you can take advantage of the uptick in demand, because more activity means one thing: more opportunity to get a deal. Hey, and don't forget, partners of Ron Siegel Radio, we're putting the properties right there on streaming TV so you get more people seeing it. And our advertising platform, now we're getting 50,000 views on every ad we put up. It usually happens within 10 days, 50,000 views within the demand area. Number 2, you may get more offers with buyer demand. It makes sense that you may get more offers on your house. And history shows that's usually true. If we look at the data for the last 3 years from the National Association of Realtors, NAR, and take the averages for each month, it's clear sellers in the spring get more offers. And again, we've got a graph for you to show that one. Spring demand needs more offers. Now, the excessive bidding wars were so famous in 2020 and 21, but it does mean seasonality could go out the spring. As Realtor.com explains, quote, spring typically brings out more buyers who are ready to make a move before summer. Listings see more views, showing, and offers during the season, unquote. And that could be really good for your bottom line. You have to put out some work on how to maximize your sales price, rsrlinks.com/sales mix, rsrlinks.com/sales mix. Number 3, homes usually sell faster. There's one more predictable pattern that happens pretty much every spring based on research for Realtor.com. Homes sell faster. And we've got a chart for that one too. On average, homes sell 20 days faster in the spring compared to the winter. That's almost 3 weeks shaved off your timeline, and that's a difference you can feel. Since homes have been taking longer to sell lately, listing your house during what's usually the most active time of the year means you're setting yourself up to move as quickly as possible. And it isn't what sellers really want. The faster your home sells, the earlier you can move on to what's next for you and your family. If you're eager to go on to your next chapter, need to downsize, I call it right size, or you've run out of space, spring may be your best time to sell. Spring doesn't guarantee a sale. Strategy still matters. That's why we've got a report card on nearly every active real estate agent in the United States. If you want to meet a great one, give me a call at 800-306-1990. More buyers, more activity, more opportunity. The real question is, if you're going to sell this year, why not do it when the odds are in your favor? Let's talk about what selling this season could mean for your house and your timeline. And I should mention that we do have a great real estate professional sitting right across the table from me here in the studio. Danny Williamson is with us. We're talking peptides, not real estate this morning, but if you want to meet Danny, talk to him about real estate, again, you can give me a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, and I'd be happy to put you in touch with him. But Danny and I are chatting about, really, I think we should change the topic. I mean, we said that we were going to talk about peptides, but I think it's more really about health.
Right. 100%.
I mean, when you started your journey or shortly thereafter, you had some serious health issues.
I did. My wife had health issues too. She had a heart attack, had to have a stent put in and everything. And she wasn't even, overweight. I was grossly overweight, and everything about my liver, had a fatty liver. My kidneys weren't functioning. I later on found out that I had kidney cancer, had to have surgery on my kidneys.
While you were taking the peptides?
While I was taking the peptides, but it had the cancer didn't have anything to do with the peptides.
Right.
In fact, I just found out yesterday that I am completely cancer free.
Wow, that's a biggie. We love to hear that one.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's beautiful.
Excellent. So, yeah, I in preparation for the scan that I had to have on Friday, a week before that, I had to have blood work done, and my blood work has been all over the place as somebody that was once overweight and everything else, and people of size, that we experience. And my liver readings were fantastic. My kidney readings were fantastic. It's actually the first time too that my white blood cell count was completely normal, wasn't elevated. But a couple things that I will just share with you is my bad cholesterol was back in check. Okay.
Wow.
And my good cholesterol has been too low for the last 20 years, which has played issues in my body. And now it's 1 point better than it ever can be. And then this is the one that the doctor was stumped on. He's like, your testosterone level has always been about 400 over the last few years and everything like that. What are you doing? What are you doing right now? Because it came back at 761. Now,
Danny, I'm a simple guy. What I need you to do for us, if you know it, is what is the normal range? What is 400?
So they say the normal range, and there will be doctors that specialize in male hormones that will tell you that this is not an acceptable range, but normal range is between 400 and 800 for somebody that's in my age category, which I'm in my mid 50s. And so for it to be all of a sudden gone from 400 to 761,
wow,
there's only one thing they contribute to it, and it's a peptide, and it's called NAD+. And that is the only thing that would raise and change all those things. So, one more time, the doctor was dumbfounded going, well, I'm not even really familiar what NAD+ is, because you know what? The mainstream medical community, they're being dictated, and this is my opinion, by the pharmaceutical companies, right?
Sure.
And we are, as patients, we have been led down the wrong road because this whole array of peptides and regimens and everything like that, they are changing people's lives, not just with weight loss, but with the, things that they put you on, cholesterol medicine, blood pressure medicine. They put you on all these things, and all it does is mask the symptoms.
Sure.
It's not, and it may later on cause a cancer or something like that. That these drugs that they're putting you on. I mean, listen to a TV commercial. The TV commercial just goes on and on and on about. I mean, how many side effects do you have to have with one drug?
Yeah.
Well,
I talked to my chiropractor about this. He and I are good friends, and we'll be out, and he'll say, well, they give you a drug for high blood pressure, and that'll cause certain side effects. And again, like you said, if you listen to the commercials, there's a whole string of side effects. So what do? They give you a drug for the side effects.
Right.
And then that drug has a whole string of side effects. They give you a drug for this drug that has the side effects. So you're getting 3 or 4 or 5 drugs because you got one issue instead of ever dealing with the issue.
Right. So, I mean, where do we draw the line? When do we start taking our own health back, and saying, look, enough's enough. Through my weight loss journey, you're one of my friends. And I am proud to say that. But you're one of 100 people that was able to look at me like a billboard and say, I want what he has. I want to do what he's doing. And there's been 100 people, I'm telling you, I'm not exaggerating, 100 people that could sit here in this room with us saying, this changed my life. And we've all had these friends and the family members that all say, just eat less, do more exercise. And that I tell people all the time, I said, look, I did not eat bad. I was not a junk food eater. I was not somebody that sit on the couch and did nothing with my day. I was always active. I was always doing something. But hey, I believe in water fasting too. And I got to tell you, I water fasted one time for 6.5 days.
Whoa.
6.5 days. And I didn't come down on the scale 1 pound because you know what happens? Our cortisol levels, our stress levels, they kick in, and the fight and flight and all these other things that go on in our body that we don't understand, they affect us.
Sure. I hear the same thing, just eat less or exercise more or all of these things. But through my journey, I've also kept in good contact with my beriatric surgeon.
Yeah, you have. You've shared it many times. Yeah.
And he's a big proponent of the GLPs. And he's always been a researcher. So he's shared with a lot of us what the research says is that, the bariatric surgery is great and it's enhanced by GLPs. So if somebody's had bariatric surgery, GLP-1s will help them as well.
Right.
It's just amazing what these can do. But I want to talk more about the NAD+. I want to talk a little bit about the Wolverine blend and what that'll do. We'll chat about those things when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. You can reach me anytime off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564. score.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. I'm just going to give you the tout for our Borrow Smart segment today because I want to get back to our conversation with Danny Williamson. Borrow Smart is brought to you by GetHomeSelect.com, GetHomeSelect.com. If you're out there thinking about your financial well-being, do you know that there's a loan out there right now that you can take a 30-year loan, pay it off in 6 or 7 years, and every time I've looked at it, every scenario I've done right now has an effective interest rate under 2%. Under 2%. And yes, that is today's numbers. So if you want more information about it, GetHomeSelect.com, GetHomeSelect.com. It's a wealth builder loan, and we talk about it on Ron Siegel Radio all the time. So let's get back to our conversation. We are chatting with Danny Williamson. Danny, I'm going to share something that I think you're in the same boat, but maybe not this first part of it. When I was in college, you had to take back, even back then, you had to take science, right? As far as your general ed and all that stuff. And I hate science. I can't even spell the word. It's almost as bad as me using a screwdriver. I've imported millions of them. I don't know which end to use, but I hated it. And, I ended up with 3 degrees in 4 years at Chapman College. But when it came to science, give me a Mickey Mouse science. I think I took science of national parks or geology of national parks, something totally worthless, but it got me the units I needed. Now I've got a whole site of research that I've done in the world of science on peptides.
Yeah.
And anybody that wants to go see my site, it's rsrlinks.com/aminopep. rsrlinks.com/aminopep. Peptides are amino acids, but we're going to do one. I'm publishing the next one. I'll probably come out today or tomorrow on Graves' disease, and it's all thyroid issues. Well, there are a couple thyroid things you got to stay away from the GLPs with, but there are some that enhance the benefits and the side effects. So that'll be coming out today or tomorrow if you want to get that. Again, rsrlinks.com/aminopep. And I think Josh will put that on the screen here in a minute. But, one of them that I'm a big fan of, I don't know if I think you're using this one also, is the Wolverine blend. The BPC.
No, I'm not using the Wolverine.
Oh, you're not using
No,
it?
I'm not.
Okay.
No, I'm using NAD+, Morlin.
Okay.
Yeah, those two I'm using.
So Wolverine is the BPC 157 and TB 500 blended.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what has got me to stop using my knee braces, along with, losing another 130 pounds. So I'm a big fan of that one also.
What do you think the blend is doing? I mean, what are they telling you? What are you experiencing besides your joints and everything?
Yeah, that's basically what it's for. So it's gut health. It's a reduction in inflammation.
Yeah.
It rejuvenates. They say it rejuvenates cartilage and mobility. I've got a fraternity brother that's using it, and he didn't even tell his physical therapist he had a shoulder issue. And the physical therapist said, "What do you like?" Kind of like with your doctor, right? So the physical therapist said, "You've got like a 29% increase in your range of motion." He said, "What are you doing?"
Yeah. So, I mean, the side effect is that you're walking better, right?
Right. That's a side effect.
I mean, like that's fantastic.
Yeah. The only thing that I've heard anybody has really told me that is a challenge, and I just say you got to get over it, is I do have a lot of people that say that they don't like taking shots.
Well, you know what? Who does?
Yeah.
You know,
I'm into pain. Like I want to take.
Yeah. I know, but you know what? It's interesting because I started out that way too. I was just like, oh, give me that EpiPen style. I don't want to do this and everything else. And I'm like, no, I don't want any of that amateur stuff. I just want to get on with it. And now it's like, I embrace that whole regimen of what we have to do, you know, and some of these other peptides, you're microdosing them on a regular basis. Sometimes,
what does microdosing mean?
Well, it's this small percentage of the actual medication, but you're having it more frequently. So, you know, in some cases, like some Moreland and everything else, you're taking it like 5 days on, 2 days off type of thing. And, you know, you would think, oh, I've got to have an injection 5 days this week. Man, I look forward to it. Honestly, the 2 days I'm off, I'm like, where is it? You know, type thing. So you just get in.
I eat at least 5 days a week too.
You what?
I eat at least 5 days a week too. Right? I want to feel better. I mean, if
I don't know about you, but I still eat 7 days a week.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
And that's the interesting thing about the whole weight loss thing. It's like, you know, people say, well, it's a diet. I says, not a diet. It's lifestyle. A change in lifestyle, and you know, I tell people all the time, the portions have completely changed, not the frequency of how often you eat. If the frequency is changing, how often you're eating, then you are probably taking too much medication, because you still need nutrition and everything else. And again, not a doctor, but you know, as human beings, we need to drink water and we need to eat food. And so I found that for years, I avoided every kind of carbohydrate and everything else that you possibly imagine. But now I'm eating a well-balanced diet. I'm having rice. I'm having potato. It's just how much are you having?
Right.
You know, you're still having the protein. I've always been a big protein eater. I mean, there's nothing I don't eat, from fish, pork, chicken, beef, you know, lamb. I mean, I have it. So, and even shellfish. But again, you know, just have the portions down.
I don't know about you, but I get a lot of people that'll call me that are doing their own research, they're on their own journey, and they'll complain that they're not losing. And one of the first things I ask them is, what are you eating?
Right.
And what are you drinking? And they're not eating enough generally.
And not drinking enough water.
Now, my bariatric doctor in 2007, I know it was well before that, but I started seeing him in 2007. He came up with an acronym, or one of the patients did, WEAPONS. And he said, you got to use your weapons every day. The weapons: water, exercise, protein first, no snacking, and supplements.
Yeah. And
I'm a believer that I say it's weapons squared. And the reason I say it's squared is I think the support means a lot too. You know, chatting, you and I have chats, and I think that helps. And when people chat with each other, I think that part of it, the community part, is beneficial. I don't know if you've come across that as well.
Oh, of course. Yeah, like I said earlier in our last conversation, was that, you know, you're one of 100 friends that I've had this conversation with, that started a journey, or may have just started a journey, or in a journey where they're down 100 pounds, or they're down 60 pounds, or they're like, wow. But yeah, I've had this conversation. I never pretended from day one. There's so many people that pretend, says, I don't want anybody to know that I'm on this, right? And I've had people look me straight in the eye and look at me. I go, what are you doing to lose weight? Oh, I'm doing Pilates and taking a sack lunch. And I'm like, I've known you for 30 years. You cannot tell me that that's what you're doing, because I know what you're doing. And so I've never done that. I've always said, I'm doing injections. Well, what does that mean? And then we started in the conversation. And I think it's so important because, hey, listen, even in real estate sales, our whole idea is not to make, you know, to make a buck off somebody. It's to enhance, advise, and give them a better life. And I find that the health thing goes along with that. Like, I want to be your partner with that, you know, like I'm not a doctor, but we need to uplift one another. We need to strengthen one another, you know? And so, you know, that's, I think it's an important thing.
I think it's been a great journey and learning these things. You know, the fact where we all know, I think, or we should, that, with the insurance companies really regulating our whole medical system, we've really got to take a lot more control and do be our own advocates.
Well, I totally agree. And the other thing is that if you let your insurance company dictate what you're having, they're not going to let you do this, or they're going to limit you on a GLP-1. And then when they decide that you're at your, goal weight or whatever the doctor determined you to be at, they're going to take you off of it. They're no longer going to pay for it. They're never going to do all that.
Danny, I know I'm sure you've come across this, so have I, that you hear people say, well, as soon as you stop taking it, you're going to gain all your weight back.
Well, I got to tell you, in September 2024, I had to stop taking it for 2 months. And that was to prepare for a robotic kidney surgery to remove the mass, the cancer that was on my body. And it was a month after that. And so, I tell people all the time, I was off it for 2 months. I did not gain a pound. Actually, I went down a pound and, restarted it and been taking variations of doses since then. So I honestly think that, when I get down to the weight I want, and I'm about 30 pounds away from that right now, and it's really important that I get rid of that extra visceral fat and all that kind of stuff, because the cancer can come back because of the visceral fat. That's the fat that's around your organs and everything like that. So limiting that, trying to decrease that can certainly make a difference in longevity. Statistically, it says that you and I, by losing this much weight, we actually, our longevity of our life, minus getting hit by a bus, we could have added 15 years to our life by losing this kind of weight. It is amazing what little things that we can do and change. And again, I don't consider it a diet. It is a lifestyle change. And
Right.
So why not embrace that? Why let your insurance company dictate to you, or your medical doctor that doesn't really kind of understand more than, okay, we don't understand everything about peptides and everything else. And in fact, my doctor yesterday on a phone conversation, loved the guy. He didn't know what NAD plus was. He didn't know.
Yeah, we find that a lot, right?
And I'm going, how do you not know? This is like, your patients should be on this and not that, But again, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm just talking about my personal experience when it comes to what my blood work was and what it is now.
And some of these peptides have been around for 20 years.
Of course.
Right. So it's not like they're new. And the doctors, many of them, the honest ones, I shouldn't say the honest ones. There are some that will come out and say that they've heard of them. They're not allowed to recommend them because it's not FDA approved, but they've had patients that have had success with them.
Yeah. Ask a cardiologist. If they have an opinion about peptides or GLP-1s or whatever else, and they can't prescribe it, right? But they'll say, I have patients on it, and the blood work indicates that everybody should be on it if they have that knowledge. And it's one of the favorite things that my wife, Erin, likes to ask cardiologists every single time she meets one, and says, what's your opinion about peptides or GLP-1s? And every time that they have knowledge, they jump right in and say, everybody should be on it. There's no reason to have this.
Well, I can share that my wife and I, our feeling is why would we ever go off these?
Oh,
Right.
I concur. I don't know that I ever will.
Yeah, we're not using the $1,200 a month version.
No.
There's a lot of more economical versions that are good, safe products.
Yeah.
Tell us your website, Danny.
So my website is lemd.com/get down with Danny.
Get down with Danny.
and it's just a fun website. We give some advice. We also can refer you over to a company that again has nothing to do with us touching the medication or anything else. It just refers you to a doctor platform that would prescribe it, can talk to you about the different types of peptides, from weight loss to BBC 157 that, is fixing your knees and, things like that. So, this is just one more of those things that we just enjoy helping people along going, hey, listen, you know what? We believe that if your spirit, your soul, your health, and if we can help you build wealth through real estate, then we're doing what we're supposed to be doing in this life, and that's supporting one another as brothers and sisters. And so that's the reward for us.
It's beautiful. And if you want more information, just give me a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Happy to put you in touch with Danny Williamson. And if you want to take a look at the research I've done, the research papers I've published, rsrlinks.com/aminopep, rsrlinks.com/aminopep. I think I've got about 15 different white papers on there. We're adding more all the time. So bookmark that site. And as always, we ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.